Hi everyone! Welcome to Free Movement's YouTube channel.
So today we have Bryan!
Thank you everybody.
Who is a locker, and my name is Sandra. So today we're actually going to talk about this topic, which is on locking as a dance form. So Bryan is actually teaching locking in the studio, in our Free Movement studio. You know, I'm very blessed that Bryan is willing to come here and share more about locking. So, okay, there are just some questions that I know that a lot of people ask a lot, and I do too, so I'm just gonna bombard Bryan with it.
I'm prepared for the ambush. Bring it!
And see if he can actually share more insights about locking. Okay, so do you want to tell us more about your background as a dancer and in locking?
So I started dancing when the year Michael Jackson passed away. Sounds like a bit grim, so damn grim, right? But really, what happened was I entered CJC, totally never danced a day before in my whole life. Then so happened that was the year he released This Is It, his comeback tour and everything. Then I suddenly asked my mom, Ma, I want to join dance. She gave me the look, right? This look. Oh, okay, go up. It's good for you. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. Yeah, but locking wise, I started in Funk Movement. So I was exposed to this 2005 video called Battle of the Year, Hilty and Bosch featuring Co-Thkoo. They are two poppers and two lockers. They did a showcase. I was blown away. I was like, how can two people look like they are exactly the same person? Hilty and Bosch, they wore the same things. They are similar built Japanese guys. Their locking is so in coordination. I was blown away. I was like, oh, this is beautiful. So started to, you know, like everyone else, I went on YouTube, searched for tutorials, couldn't find any decent ones, but I kind of like copied moves here and there, copied moves here and there. Until I went to Funk Movement, then I met Winston, my first locking teacher. I know him as Fong. That's the whole locking journey. Like that's when it began. And then since then, it's been teacher after teacher, lesson after lesson, showcase after showcase, and then I'm here at Free Movement. Yay!
So actually, you know, I'm really lucky to have met Bryan because not too long ago was also my first time trying locking, and I think a lot of people have the same questions as I do, which is, can everybody lock? And is there like age limit, or do you need a background? How do you even start if you want to know more about locking, let's say?
Firstly, locking, right? Fun fact, it is a dance style, but it was created by a non-locker. Non-dancer, sorry. Don Campbell, the creator of locking, may he rest in power always, he was not a dancer, he was a painter and artist. And he screwed up the most simple step in the world, and that birthed locking. It was a two-step movement with up, down, and he forgot what to do after going down. Then everyone was like, hell, that's fresh! Okay, that's cool, what do you call that? What do you call that? The lock. Birth of locking. No age limit required to start locking, none. Because I think the youngest locker in Singapore I've seen is about between 4 to 6 years old. It's very kid friendly because the steps inherently are very simple. They are not complicated. In fact, a lot of the steps are exactly what they look like. So like if you say...
A lot of the steps are exactly what they look like.
So like if I tell you to clap, then you will clap. So in locking, a clap is a clap. The move is called a clap. It's really like that. Like I tell you to point. So like Sandra here, you're attending your first lesson, right? So I taught you like point. So how I teach point? You point at the camera, point. Point. Done. Point. So the moves are very simple.
It doesn't sound that difficult.
Oh, it isn't.
Right? But I think a lot of people also have questions like, in a way, how do you move that way? Because, you know, I think a lot of people don't have that kind of groove or that kind of rhythm. So, you know, how do you get into that whole stance?
So when you really break it down to it, there's this thing called the 4 foundational pillars of locking.
4.
So I'm not going to go into detail because it's very bookish, very academic. But one of the 4 is called style and grace. Which is basically, you become more graceful at the movements you practice a million times. So evolutionarily speaking, psych student, if you start, when you first were born, you didn't know how to walk. But over time, you learn how to walk, you practice, and now everyone can walk very gracefully as you age. So it's the same thing in locking. I feel the say comes from confidence. So like confidence is key.
Okay.
The first time you learn how to lock, you'll be like, my ass is sticking out a little bit, my elbow's kind of not high, my wrist kind of broken. Then till today, my teacher Brian Lee still say, your hand very stiff.
Brian, if you're listening to this, right, that's his impersonation.
It's true. It's true. He will just say, like, I cannot, your hands can't. Then okay, adjust. So, but over time, once you do it repeatedly, then you gain your own confidence in your movement. So like when you practice in front of a mirror, you look at yourself and you go, oh actually I kind of like this, I think I look cool here, I think I look cool here. And that becomes your habits, and over time, that's when your say just naturally develops. So
in a way, it's kind of like having your own style.
Yes, it's a dance maturity.
I guess in a way, it's perfectly okay to screw up first.
Locking is a dance created from a screw up, right?
Actually, it's kind of good like to screw up in dance first.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I think.
More.
Yeah, that's how everyone learns for dance. I do have another question for you, which is, what do you need to wear to lock? Okay, I know you're a guy, but like as ladies or as women or as children, you know, what do you wear to lock? Because I think it's an important thing. And also, do you need shoes, or are you doing barefooted, or?
Okay. Locking is a street dance. So off the top, I'm gonna say shoes are necessary. Please, for heaven's sake, wear shoes. Because locking, I mean, steps are steps, but sometimes you might have to do stomping, you might have to do stunts. Because of that, the impact on your foot, it's not healthy if you go at it barefoot. So it's better to wear shoes. If you say what kind of shoes, okay, that's the question.
Right.
Running shoes, sneakers. Running shoes tend to not be very good because they curve a little bit, and then they are usually geared towards frontal movement. Like the way the soles are designed is geared to frontal movement.
Right.
So when you have like your James Brown slides, when you slide side to side, it's a bit cumbersome.
Okay.
Yeah. So usually a lot of street dancers in Singapore, what you'll see them wear is like sneakers. Your Adidas Gazelle, your Puma suedes. Actually generally along these lines, you tend not to wear dress shoes, like formal leather shoes to dance, unless you're maybe doing a show. Then you need to look good. But apart from that, any shoe that you're more or less pretty comfortable with, you can dance in. You just need to know that they protect your feet, that's all. As for clothes, locking was born in that era where you're gonna see, if you search the original Campbell lockers on YouTube, you're gonna see neon coloured 7 people on stage, all purple, all pink, all yellow, all orange, all red. They look like Power Rangers.
Wait. So the top and the bottom is like a matching set?
Yeah.
What?
TV show, entertainment. So they did that. That's just styling. But if you talk about, if you want to just learn locking as a dance, honestly, clothes that you're comfortable in is great. Pants that can stretch. Please, pants that can stretch. But apart from that, any clothes that you're comfortable dancing in Singapore, a lot of people are into the baggy t-shirt and track pants, sweatpants, that kind. That's okay, that's fine, just locking. But if you come up to shows, then yeah, your costume will have a part to play, for sure.
Do you think Free Movement should come up with neon sets of clothes for lockers in Singapore?
If I were to be real, if Free Movement does it, that would be dope. Because
we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Because like in today's show context, right? People wear this thing called zoot, Z-O-O-T. So which is like kind of like a men's formal wear, but really baggy.
Yeah.
So you have your three-piece suit, your pants that the groin rides down to maybe halfway down your knees. The jacket is so big that the back is basically like a trench coat, but it becomes very flat when every show, right? You have your more street performances where people wear your t-shirts and your track pants. Right. Then you have your more classy shows where people wear your fedora and your three-piece suit.
So in Singapore, let's localize it. So in Singapore, what do lockers wear?
So you either wear the zoot for like, if you're really trying to dress up for a battle, you're gonna see someone go down there, zoot pants, wingtip shoes, You're gonna see them dangle like a handkerchief down the side.
Oh.
They'll maybe wear a vest. Sometimes the vest and the pants don't match because they came from different shows. So that's that. Someone that I do really want to call out though, her Instagram's Girl in Boxers. For a lady, she dresses really well for battles. So she wears like very flowy looking pants which complements her style. It really brings out, and she does dress very well. And I generally don't see what I don't see. Girls, they don't wear tights.
Okay.
The clothes tend to be a little bit on the roomy, baggy end so that they move when you move.
So you need clothes that move when you move. So moving on from there, right? You think during this time, because we know that a lot of people are stuck at home, I know all of you guys watching now are probably at home, and I think that's cool because we're doing what we can to make the situation better. But for everyone who's at home right now, like, are they able to learn at home?
Yeah.
Can they just, you know, learn it as a family or as an individual? How much of a space do people need? And you know, what are the basic things that you actually need?
Factually, let's address different parts of the question.
Right,
The first one is, can you do it at home?
Yes.
Yes. So a lot of the movements are very static because, like I said, Don wasn't a dancer. His hand movements, the whole body is stock still and it's stiff. So he looks like he's basically posing. So you can do it at home. You don't really need a lot of space. At most, you just hold out your arms like that. Then after you spin one round, then if you hit nothing, you're good to go. Yeah. Can you do it as a family? Definitely. So I understand from free movement, like we try to create tutorials we try to catch as many people as possible, try and spread the love of this dance.
Right.
But factually speaking, I can't be teaching kids and adults in the same video, right? So what I'll do is I'll make it as simple as possible. Adults, if you can, it'll be a great chance for you to bond with your children. Do it together. Do this art form together. Teach them what you absorb. And honestly, I feel the benefits of learning dance when you're young, really great.
So actually, is there or are there any platforms where people can look for music that's specifically for locking?
So locking is a dance genre. So there is no music genre called locking. But when locking was created, it was danced to funk. If you just went on to Spotify and you just search locking music playlist, you're gonna get a lot. Then if you go to Spotify, right? Go YouTube, also have what locking music compilation 1 to 9, that kind of thing. Confirm have one. As for myself, I think what I will do is, in my own way, I will create a locking music playlist as well. And what I'll do is, as part of the tutorials, when you go and get the videos and the links, I will also share that Spotify playlist there, that link. You can click in and just access the music.
So Bryan has also very kindly offered a way to continue to share his love for locking.
Yeah.
And I think so far when, you know, and I've attended the classes as well, I found it really funny because, you know, my own dance background has been more for jazz, more for ballet and contempt and things like that. But when I went for locking, I thought that I was going to die.
Well.
But okay. But I realized that it was more of, the fun part was really more of breaking the forms for me. But I think for you know, others who have not danced before, it was really interesting because you're moving parts, different parts that you don't really realize that you could move, or how simple it is to actually move that. Like, I think the other day Kenneth, right?
Yeah.
Kenneth was also saying like, hey, you know, you should remove your watch. Then I was like, huh, why? Like, my watch, I can track steps, no? Then he was like, no, because you know why, locking got a lot of wrist movement. So I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. And I think that's the cool thing about dance classes, right? Like when people start to share with one another, not just the instructors, but you know, to one another. And I think that's the beautiful thing about dance. Yeah, so in our, you know, in our free movement dance classes here in the studio, we actually come to a point of time where we say like we really want to introduce the different genres of dance as it is. And for anyone who either has not tried that dance before, have never danced before, or just want to try something new. because I think that's completely something that what we can do to really, you know, continue the love for the art lah. But of course, during this time, it's a little bit difficult because we cannot have the physical classes, understandably. But right now, Bryan has also come up with his own series where you can actually do it at home, and you just follow on the videos and he will talk through the different movements as well, and you can definitely do it by yourself and as a family, and I think it's also age appropriate for any ages, right?
So I mean, I don't know how young I look on camera, but I'm in my mid to late-ish 20s, so the way I teach tends to be a bit more like a bit more like rara, which might be more suitable for from your tertiary institute kind of age all the way up to adults, up to maybe 40 even. So that's just the way I teach, but the content, the breakdown, definitely anyone can understand it, trust me. Even your primary school kid can understand what I'm saying, confirm.
The other thing that I feel is so good is that, you know, when Bryan was first sharing about what locking is, he never once said that locking is a particular genre that you have to do it a certain way. And I think that's really a good way to express it, because, you know, locking in itself, you're saying like, because you do soul as well, right? And he actually does have a little bit of his own style where he actually fuses the different types of it. So I think one thing that dancers generally feel is that, oh, you know, if I do jazz, I do it must be the jazz. Or if I do ballet, I must have this proper form. If I do contempt, I will want to break form even more and move more. But then I realized that actually, to dance locking or even any other street styles, right? You actually, for most street styles, you can actually fuse your own styles in it. If whatever background you have or no background you have, just fuse your own style in it, you know, whether it's facial expressions, whether it's, you know, arms and things like that, still it's your own style. So I think locking is a great start for beginners, right?
Very good start. A little bit different because most of the classical dancers and art forms, like you mentioned, ballet, contempt, there is a textbook, there is a right, there is a wrong, and there is a syllabus to follow through.
Right.
Locking, most street dancers, there is a reference. There is, I mean, I can tell you this is the way the Koreans did it, this is the way the Japanese do it, but in the end, is it the way you do it?
So I just want to say thank you so much, Bryan, for taking the time off today to be with us and to share so much about locking and your love for it. I mean, you can see his enthusiasm, right? It's quite crazy. So if you do want to look out for more information about his classes, please click on the link down below so you can just check out, you know, what the different basics that Bryan would be doing for his classes. And
so I think free movement has a really wide range of dance styles. Usually you have studios that teach street and then it's all street, teach classic and it's all classic. Free movement has so many instructors. My god, when I joined this team, flamenco, Chinese dance, ballet, street jazz, all renowned instructors in their own right. So if you like what we post up, like, subscribe, tune in to more, listen to the other instructors and their insights. Who knows, you might find a story that resonates with you. Then of course, go to our link down below for free movement site so that you can access to all our videos and tutorials as well. Okay, stay healthy, keep dancing, and maybe we'll see you in class someday.
Yeah, so we'll see you soon. Please subscribe down below and stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.